first poem I'm going to read is called Occlusion, which is a weather term for when a cold front overtakes a warm front and sort of pushes it upwards. So, occlusion. Where were the first beating insect wings? The first time we met, your tweed had shocked me. This cursed perception. Although I disguised it, and you put on a front, I knew you'd seen. But you, in a low that idolised politeness, clung to anything resembling warmth. Was it at that time, when you couldn't speak through the depression, and I raked dry words from hard chalk? Is that when the light split in all its colours for you, plated the grey? Hearing you loved me, I was overcast, hoping the poem you folded over and over was nothing, although it spoke of marriage and ordered gardens, wanting to believe you shivered for the late September weather, and not for what you thought you read in me. We know, although they forecast every day, tomorrow's hardly ever any different. These systems change so imperceptibly that when the weather breaks, we'll not know why. The next two poems that I'm going to read are about birds and are also about the changings of the seasons. So the first one is called Migratory. What could you know of these readjustments? The preening a hard surface out of the air that we could spread our wing bones on and glide in a single movement over the ocean. Through 4 dark dawns and days of hunger sickness, we dragged our waist-clogged feathers. Those strings of rain fettered us, and we sometimes had to fight to keep still as the headwind drove us backwards. Fearing the winter we brought, you tried to trick us, blotted the stars out with those orange lines of lights which set us off our course, so that we had to trust our older magnet sense and feel for landings in the dimming grey, and we were flailing, for our fathers had never been here, skimming the surface and the gloomy shadows, we, who had been as the clouds and the wind moving through them. Sometimes we came down on estuaries, on mud flats and marshes rich with teeming worms, or on the stubble fields of your coastal farms, and fed on your winter grain and the late sugar beets. Ever watchful, we crossed the leathering currents with the curse of a new winter in our V-shaped wake. But we'll not feed here again. We are going west and leave these exhausted lands beneath our skein. The next one is called Elegy. What little light is left now, dismal glare, squats under a sodden tent. Most birds are bound for Africa. Those staying skim the ground and circle like a mobile, beating air in hopes to still it. These last months will wear their wings to tatters, till they run aground on sedge-pale brushwood, and the frosts compound a glass bead harvest, and they'll be unaware. Difficult not to feel something amiss. The branches clumped together at the top like dirty feathers are weighing me with grief. Where do you gaze, wing hoverer? I'll watch all this till my unfinished net of words can drop over the county like a skeletal leaf. And the last poem is called In Worrying, I Missed the Peace. In worrying, I missed the peace, turning over and over how the last time could have been better, how little I am sure of anything with you, still unsure I like the quality of your voice, and thinking that my love may be too small, keeping everything small, disturbing myself from any peace with this diminutive inner voice which stops me hearing the stuff, though very beautiful still, with which you're kissing one of my legs. It's really not the whole of me, thank goodness, the small voice of sabotage. Still, I know, even at its loudest, I'll come back to hearing peace, as soon as I'm quiet enough for this shell-like silence to drown this bugging voice. I hear now the affection in your voice, my love, and I'm glad of you. In time I'll come to register all the beautiful things that happen, however small or close, and I'll be quiet enough for peace. At least we're hugging still, lying very still in the duvet darkness. Your kiss here, your voice. I try to create some peace, although this is not one of the things I planned for, and although in this small space we haven't yet played out all the things we might want to do and the bits we might yet say. Still, if you're feeling love, however small, it's best to give it voice. There aren't that many things of so much value. Maybe peace, if that is what we should call the barely heard voice we find still waiting here, the blank sound of this small and disappointing peace. Thank you.